It's the Sunday Pilot here with another Sim Sunday port over video from the main Living the Dream channel, with this, my first of 7 videos in the wide-body twin series. Published on the main channel in December 2020, running through to mid-January 2021. So let's get started with the first video on board the PMDG 777-300ER of Air France from Paris Charles de Gaulle to New York JFK. Enjoy! It's Grim here with the first in my wide-body twin series here in Living the Dream in a new segment on the channel I'm calling Sim Sunday. Today I'm at Paris Charles de Gaulle International Airport in the PMDG 777-300ER, and I'm going to get straight into Sim Brief to set up a flight from here in Paris Charles de Gaulle over to New York's JFK Airport. Today I'm planning 300 passengers and 15 tons of cargo. Boston Logan KBOS will be our alternate, and of course I'm going to allow SimBrief to calculate the altitude today because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to guess that we're going to do a step climb because we're going to be heavy. Both SimBrief and the simulator are telling me that 27 left will be our departure runway. However, I think it's probably going to be 26 right. So again, let's take 27 left to start with, and if we have to change it, we always can. Whatever happens, it's going to be a westbound departure out over northern Paris en route towards Brittany, then across the Atlantic, staying well out of UK airspace, avoiding all of those NATS charges, and then crossing the northern Atlantic, arriving in the eastern seaboard just south of Newfoundland, making landfall around Cape Cod in Massachusetts, before heading towards Long Island, and I'm guessing an approach into runway 22 left at New York's John F. Kennedy Airport. SimBrief has even calculated our ETOPS on this transatlantic crossing, so back in the cockpit, it is time for me to program the FMC, the flight management computer, and this, guys, is where I'm going to own up. Because I only purchased and downloaded the PMDG 777 2 days ago, I had my first flight yesterday on a British Airways 200LR from Cyprus or Larnaca, Cyprus, up to London Heathrow, so today would be my second flight. So I wasn't expecting this particular journey to go smoothly, and it certainly wasn't going to be pretty. However, I'm guessing that I'm not alone when it comes to learning to fly a new aircraft and prepared version 4.5, which is what I'm in today, a Taxi2Gate's beautiful version of Paris Charles de Gaulle. So with the flight plan loaded, both into the sim itself and into the flight management computer, it's time to get back to boarding, and of course I'm using GSX. For those of you who have followed my previous videos on flight sim here on Living the Dream, you will know that I like to check off the nav log from Prepared 3D against the flight plan on the FMC to make sure they are both fully in sync. And once that is complete, it's time to sit back and watch GSX do its job at loading this fantastic aircraft that is the PMDG 777-300ER, today in Air France livery. Right, time to get the APU fired up, get ready to push back.
Hello Captain, we are ready for pushback.
Echo ground, Alitalia 316, request taxi to STEM.
Romeo Tango 8, Romeo
Locking gear.
6, runway south.
Departure check completed, bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear, start at will.
Echo Tango Bravo 2, Gold 3.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start. Left is clear, right is clear.
Go ground, Air France 9er, heavy with information Delta, West taxi, IFR. Air France 9er, heavy, taxi holding point 3, runway 26, right, using taxiway Echo 5, runway southwest, right, Echo 5, Romeo Tango 7, Tango, Romeo Tango 8, Romeo 1, contact tower on 120.9er when ready.
Okay, remember at the start of this video when I was setting up the flight plan, both the sim itself and of course SimBrief was recommending 27 left for takeoff, but as I guessed it actually was 26 right, and that is where we're heading now. I had to stop the sim and do some reprogramming of the departure and make sure the flight plan all matched up, but we're all good to go for 26 right.
7 Quebec, runway southwest, right, Quebec, Echo, Golf, Echo. Runway southwest, right 307. The Gulf Tower, Air France 9er, heavy at runway 26 right with departure IFR Kennedy. Clear for takeoff, runway 26 right, Air France 9er, heavy.
On runway 26 right.
Given that this was only my second time flying the PMDG 777 and my first time flying the 300ER model, I think I did okay on my departure. As most of you know, I'm not by the numbers or checklist sort of pilot at the end of the day. I'm just a Sunday pilot. This is just a little bit of fun for me. And according to the FMC, on the VNAV page, 340 was the optimum flight level currently. I'm going to come back in this video a little bit later over the mid-Atlantic and I'll show you what happens when the aircraft is advising a step climb. So until then, I'm going to sit back, get a cup of coffee and enjoy this trip out over the North Atlantic towards the United States. Welcome back, and as you can see, we're now a couple of hours into our flight between Paris Charles de Gaulle and New York's JFK in the gorgeous PMDG 777-300ER of Air France. As you can see in the MFD at the 80 nautical mile point, we've been recommended to do a step climb. So looking at the FMC, the legs page is recommending that we climb to flight level 360 at this point. However, as you will see in a second, the VNAV page on the FMC was still recommending flight level 340. However, after a WhatsApp message with a good friend of mine who is a real pilot, he told me that I should always take whatever the VNAV page is telling me. And at some point during the back and forth of WhatsApp messaging, the Optimum had advised me to climb to flight level 360, and that is of course exactly what I did. Just under an hour out of New York, we're overhead Cape Cod, heading towards Long Island and of course the other islands of Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. I've made this approach for real into New York's JFK probably 100 times in my life, and even in the sim the view doesn't get tired. And as expected, all of the tools at my disposal are pointing us towards runway 22 left at JFK, which of course is what I've been expecting ever since I set this flight up back in Paris Charles de Gaulle. Before I make my approach to runway 22 left at JFK, I'm going to own up to something. This was my third attempt at landing on this particular flight. With this only being my second flight in the PMDG 777, my reference speeds on approach were simply all wrong, because I couldn't get this heavy aircraft to stabilise into a solid descent rate. Discussing this with my pilot friend after the event, he told me in the Boeing 777 and of course the 787, I should have used the auto throttle to control my speeds on descent into landing, because the auto throttle in the 777 and the 787 automatically disconnect at 30 feet. I'll put this to the test in my next video as part of my wide body twin series here on Sim Sunday, because I plan to fly a 787-10 of United from Newark across to LAX. However, I'm going to leave you in suspense now and let you see for yourselves how I get on in the next video, so keep tuned. And as you would expect me to say, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Right, back to my approach into JFK, runway 22 left, with the scenery of New York skyline being delivered by DRZEWIECKI Designs, and of course my New York JFK scenery being delivered by FS Dream Team. Right guys, I know that wasn't the prettiest landing, but it was only my second landing in the PMDG 777. And I'm also bracing myself for a kick in the backside from my pilot friend, who's going to give me a really hard time for not doing a go around as soon as I heard the long landing call out. I know that the long landing warning should force me to do an automatic go around, but I didn't. I think I was only at 10 or 20 feet from touchdown at that point, and I went ahead with it. I know guys, I'm just a Sunday pilot. Pulling in to Terminal 1, you can see that Ultimate Traffic Live version 2, or the beta version, is providing a reasonable amount of aircraft already at the gates, but I can see already that some of it is not correct, because Cathay Pacific should be at Terminal 7, the British Airways terminal, and not here at Terminal 1. But hey guys, this is just a game after all. But pulling up to the gate here at JFK Terminal 1 is where we bring this particular episode of Sim Sunday to a close. My Sim Sunday videos are not designed to be tutorials, because there are plenty of fantastic tutorials on how to fly the PMDG even 777 on YouTube, so have a look around guys, and you will find some fantastic tutorials in English and many other languages all over YouTube. But it's time now for me to switch off the fuel to the 2 GE engines and allow GSX to connect the jetways and of course provide the ground services. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and in the next one I said I will be flying the United Boeing 787-10 from Newark across the country to Los Angeles LAX. So until then, thanks for watching.